Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This is a channel about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. And I want to talk today about a question I've been fielding probably more than any other lately in like direct messages and emails, is about flying to the Philippines when you have not flown to the Philippines before. And somebody asked what I would do different since I have been back other times. And so that's what I want to talk about today. And please feel free to share your comments about your experiences. Perhaps you had flown internationally before. Maybe you flew, maybe you flew domestically quite a bit and are used to the planes and the airports and the TSAs and the lines and delays and all of those sorts of things. But one thing that makes often a trip to the Philippines different, if you live anywhere near where I do in the Midwest, is a very long flight from, often it's LAX to Manila. That is just one of 4 flights I had to take to go to the Philippines back in 2015. And I had never flown internationally. I'm just not good at that sort of thing. So there was one flight to like, I don't know, Denver maybe, and then flight to, I think there was somewhere else. And then it was LAX to Manila. And then we had to go, after another delay, from Manila to Davao City. So it was 4 flights there, 4 flights back. I didn't know what to expect. I was very excited and eager to go to the Philippines. And I thought that just that excitement and eagerness would guide me to make it through the flight. But boy, was I wrong. So these are some things I've shared to some people that said, hey, I'm going to the Philippines this year already and never done it before, kind of concerned about some things. How can you help me? So I want to roll through some of those things today. I had a rough time with my first trip in the Philippines. I didn't bring any sleeping pills, which I didn't know about. I didn't do much research. And it would have helped if I had some Aleve, some kind of Tylenol back pain meds, because I had a real problem with my back when I got there. And the flight, especially that 14.5-hour flight from LAX to Manila, part of about a 32, 34-hour trip, that was almost a killer. For some reason, not being an experienced traveler, I don't remember watching a lot of TV. I probably was too nervous to ask anybody, how do you get this TV screen to work? I don't know. But I remember seeing that on the screen somewhere that shows where your plane is relative to where you're going to end up being. And then also, how many hours it's going to take to get there. And I tried not to look at it because it's like watching a pot that's boiling. It just doesn't boil as fast. I think that's scientifically proven. So I tried not looking at it. And I know one time I thought, I just got the feeling we are almost done. It seemed like we'd been on that flight forever. So I went to the restroom. People were kind of, moving around a little bit. So I thought, hey, maybe we're about done. I didn't want to know. I just didn't want to keep looking. And so I asked the stewardess, are we there yet? Are we close to getting there? Oh, no, sir, we have 7 hours to go. And I almost died when I heard that, because that means we had flown for 7.5 hours, which seemed like eternity, and still had 7 hours to go. So a big part of what you want to do on these long flights, unless you're a seasoned flyer, which this video is not for, is to learn how to handle all of that. It would help to be able to sleep. Well, at that time, and even for several additional trips to the Philippines, I was still not able to ever fall asleep on the plane, even with my wife. I just couldn't do it. Now I have PTSD, I have sleep paralysis, I have nightmares, and I think just subconsciously I don't want to lean back and fall asleep and wake up yelling or something like that. How embarrassing. So I just couldn't fall asleep. I just couldn't do it. I would recommend bringing, watch some movies, first of all. And hopefully they have a lot of good, interesting documentaries or action movies that you can watch, I don't know, 2 or 3 in a row, and then take a nap. And then another couple movies, and eat and take a nap, and wake up and eat and watch some more movies and try to take a nap. That really helped once I was able to go through some of the movies. And by 5 trips now, I've pretty much seen all the movies that I've wanted to see. Maybe there's some new ones coming out the next time we would go. Also, bring your music if that helps soothe you. Excuse me. Another thing I didn't know you could do was get your phone and buy internet service on the flight. And so that can help if it actually works. Then you can do things you're used to doing. Now, I tried that the 5th time I went, and it just didn't work. Then on the way back, my wife bought a little, I don't know what you call them. I can't think of it right now, but you can both plug into it, pocket Wi-Fi, that's it. And it did work for the internet. So lo and behold, we could both use our internet on the plane. And that was a lot better deal than what I paid for the one that didn't work. So those are some things you can do. And you have to pay for that internet, though, and it might be unreliable. Another thing I tried to do was just tell myself it's going to be a long 4 trips. If you got less than that, good for you. I envy you. I was not used to dealing with the pettiness of TSA. That got me in trouble with my wife. You have to really just shut your emotions off, I think, when you go on this trip to the Philippines. Just try not to get upset. TSA is probably going to upset you sometimes. There's probably going to be some travel delays. There's going to be some gate changes, and you might have to stay overnight somewhere. I recommend, an aisle seat. I'm 6'2", so I want to get in the aisle so I can get out and stand up on that 14.5-hour flight. I also like to sit near the back, right next to the restroom, where I can get up and stand and nobody's staring. I'm not in anybody's way when they're walking past me. I can just go back there and stand and not be in anybody's way unless there's a big pile up at the restroom. And that helps. I can just get up and stretch my legs, because people can get blood clots from sitting there for so long on a flight like that. So that's something that I would think about. I would recommend getting a travel agent, because what that did for me was they knew what was going on in real time. So if there was going to be a gate change, they could probably let me know before anybody else let me know. Bob, your flight's been delayed. You're gonna have to go to this gate, or your flight's delayed. You're gonna either have to switch to this airline, or I don't know, stay overnight or wait for 6 hours. And they can help you with information like this. That helps. I almost missed my flight to the Philippines because when I got there, I didn't know what check-in meant. I thought it meant show up. No, it means check in, acknowledge that you're going to be there for that flight. You can do it on a computer, but they're saying you have to do it within 24 hours of your flight. And when you got 4 flights, you're thinking, well, do I have to do it 4 times? What a mess. So anyway, a travel agent can help answer your questions. They can print out everything for you, and they can make all the notes on the specific places you need to see and highlight to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're not going to miss out on something when the action starts to happen. So I'm going to run out of time, but please contribute some other tips that you have when doing long distance traveling to see your love beyond the sea.